Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking another look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. It's holding like a champ here, down at this key level support about 170, 172. Talked about previously, there's a nice support range between 160 and 169 roughly. Every time we wick into that area, tons of buying pressure. Even with Bitcoin selling off pretty hard right now, we're seeing a nice substantial hold for Solana. So this is very good for not only our Solana long, but anyone else who wants to consider dollar cost averaging. Kind of shows at this point here is a pretty important level for us. So we're going to take a look at some liquidation levels and just kind of understand, more so focusing on volume today, money flow index, those things there, because that's really helpful on situations like this where big money is coming in to kind of buy as much as they can right now. Because again, with Bitcoin taking a complete nosedive and Solana holding, even though Solana did technically nosedive prior to that, it's holding pretty well at this level. So we're going to talk about that and much more. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hope you can learn something today. I hope you can learn a lot, of course. Join my trading university, academy, community, signals group, the whole 9 yards there. It's really awesome. We got some nice profits here too. Just a quick little congrats to our community. Good FTM long from last night, 30%. FTM's cranking right now. I'm going to cover that next. ICP short, 32% in 7 days. So you can correct, you can catch trades in both directions, folks. It's definitely possible. You want to be careful doing it, of course, but FTM had tons of confluence, and ICP, of course, is just a short we took last week based on how weak it's looking. No pun intended. All right, so double checking the liquidation here for Solana. We can see pretty much all the liquidation has been swept at 174 as low as 169. Okay, so there's some late longs here at about 167, 168. But generally speaking, every potential long in the last week has been destroyed, okay? And that's what the market movers did. Now that they're satisfied, they're cranking the price back up. It's an interesting thing, and it will always baffle newer traders. Me personally, I'm just kind of used to it, but it's an unfortunate situation nonetheless, no matter how you look at it. But if you can be aware of these things, you can increase your odds of success, which is exactly why I felt confident holding our position open. Again, hindsight's 2020. Probably should have closed at small profit or break even, but it's easy to say that now. I do think Solana still has tremendous potential here. We do have a potential double bottom here, as well as the fact that other confirming factors that might also be present that I saw last night. Let's double check that. If we take a quick look here at the daily time frame, let's work our way down. We're still below the 20-day SMA. We've known that for a while. Over the 50, these are all positive signs for the most part. Being under 20, of course, is something we want to change, but that's absolutely a normal thing right now in the market. We can also see RSI at 50 holding. So if we do hold this 175, 176 range here today, we should be able to see that maintain itself. We can also see money flow index pulling back here as well, which is not great, but it's par for the course. Quickly to note here as well, if we take a look down below, we can see MACD is pretty much parallel. In other words, we're not seeing any increase or decrease there. It just implies that the selling pressure is still there, but it's not too much for the price action to continue to contract to the downside. So definitely looking solid there in that sense, but there's no doubt we got a bearish engulfing candle. It's not like it's a phenomenal situation, folks. There's no other way around it. But it's not truly bearish either, which is surprising considering how weak Solana was looking yesterday. Now, if we take a look at its quote-unquote weakness, let's quickly kind of take perspective of the last, I don't know, however many days this is. Ever since we've broken that level at about 160, from roughly this time last month, basically 1 month's worth of trading, we've seen the most amount of volume at 180, 182. So it's just kind of, it's an interesting thing here, but that's that point of contention. So getting back up above that's going to be extremely important, but it's definitely a probability we could see that here, just based on how much buying pressure we have right now. Now, unless Bitcoin takes a nosedive to 64,000, we should be in pretty solid shape to be able to see that continue, okay? So, all in all, looking pretty solid here in the overall sense. Let's double check a couple of other things here. We can see RSI swinging back up. By no means, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is not a fantastic area to be in, right? We want to be back over 50 on the RSI. We want to have that money flow index increased. And good news is we do see stochastic RSI kind of giving us that convergence, letting us know that we've been downtrending for some time. While it only shows a 5 on here on TD sequential, the truth is there's a lot of other candles here that are showing us that we're pretty close to our overextended state. So we're about 8 4-hour candles technically, if you count just straight red candles, continuing to lower. The one is lower than the previous. We can see that we're moving about 32 hours in the same direction. Generally speaking, 36 hours is that expiration, so to speak. So if we take a look here at MACD, still diverging, but it's starting to plateau. Okay, it's also a good sign of potential reversal. So I'm not trying to make this look like it's something better than it's not, but the truth is with the money flowing into this coin, the amount of volume we're seeing here in the recent past is extremely beneficial. I mean, we're only an hour and a half into this candle, we got a decent amount of volume. I think that's extremely important. And if we take a look at the hourly, we can see money flow is increasing. We got that nice little bounce off of 20. This is a really common occurrence for RSI being overextended on smaller time frames. Stochastic is swinging up here, and MACD is about to converge. So while the hourly isn't quite as impactful as a 4-hour, this is letting us know there's a pretty solid shift in momentum, and that there's a lot of money flowing into this coin here in the last 12 hours roughly, and that's a very, very solid sign. If you take a look at this and you compare it with that, it's a pretty decent difference there between Bitcoin and Solana, okay? So again, awesome stuff. What we want here today is to close above 162 or higher. You can see this more recent resistance range here, or potential resistance, previous support, right there at that level. It's important to get back up above that because we tried to break through that last night, couldn't, and continued lower. However, if we look at this here, if we break above that, we'd likely be in a much better scenario. And again, no sugarcoating at all. Keep in mind we're well below the cloud. We need to be up over 180 to have any real shot at sustaining this, which seems possible at this point. However, if we take a look at the lagging span, still technically free and clear. Conversion line's below the baseline. Lagging span's free and clear. So the bottom line here is if you have a short position open with Solana, there's no indication that you should consider closing that short yet. Okay, we could very well see this be a dead cat bounce and the price pull back. But this feels a lot different than usual because this is what Solana typically does. When Solana turns it on, so to speak, it moves very independent of Bitcoin. And I would say this is a fairly independent scenario here, considering Bitcoin has had a pretty solid correction here in the last 3 hours. We've seen about a 2% dip in the last 3 hours. And if we take a look at Solana, we've seen about a 4% increase in the last 2 to 3 hours. So again, that inverse pairing, so to speak, is very awesome. You see that as well here with FTM. This is one of our other long positions. You can see this doing very well, and it broke free from its pattern here. So we got in right here. Smack dab. It was nice. Anyways, good stuff. I just like to highlight the positive, folks, because I know it can be a little stressful when things like this don't go the way that you want, but I can tell you Solana is looking to be on fire at this point, and I'd be very surprised if we ended up tanking from here. It would take a lot of selling pressure from Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's kind of running out of juice. Just kind of a feeling that I get in the market. Again, being in the industry for over 20 years, just trading and looking at charts, this is my daily job, and I can tell you that I have a very good feeling about this. And I know I always emphasize not to use feelings when you trade, right? Because trading with emotion is different. This is just kind of an intuitive feeling more so than I'm all lovey-dovey on this coin because it's a great coin, right? That's total garbage. You should never do that. Don't trade based on your thoughts about projects and how great you think they are. That means nothing on the charts. Manipulation is king, and we see it here day in and day out. All right, that's all we got there, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure you join us over with Bitget, Phenomenal Exchange. We're all using that link down below for some nice rewards. CryptoCash.tag, of course, if you want to become a better trader. And make sure you comment below. Like and comment below. Greatly appreciate that too. Helps grow the channel. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks for your time. We'll see you soon.